In the quaint village of Maplewood, where cobblestone streets wound through rows of Victorian houses and the air always carried the scent of blooming lilacs, lived an 82-year-old woman named Clara. Her home was a two-story cottage with ivy climbing its walls, a place that had stood for over a century. Clara had moved there with her husband, Edward, 60 years ago, fresh from their wedding vows. Edward was a carpenter, known for his skilled hands that built furniture with hidden compartments and doors that seemed to vanish into walls. He had passed away 15 years earlier from a quiet illness, leaving Clara with a heart full of unspoken words and a house echoing with silence. Their only daughter, Emily, had moved to the city for work, visiting sparingly. Clara's days blended into one another, brewing tea in the mornings, tending to her rose garden, and flipping through faded photo albums by the evening fire. Clara's silver hair was always pinned in a loose braid, her eyes a soft hazel that held stories of joy and loss. She wore simple dresses with aprons, her movements slow but graceful. Loneliness was her quiet companion, but she never complained. "Life goes on, one petal at a time," she'd say to herself, quoting Edward's favorite phrase. Yet, deep down, she yearned for connection, a touch, a voice, something to fill the void. One rainy afternoon in early spring, as Clara sat knitting by the window, she heard a scratching sound from the backyard. Peering out, she saw a small orange kitten, no bigger than a teacup, huddled under the porch steps. Its fur was matted with mud, and its amber eyes gleamed with a mix of fear and curiosity. The kitten meowed pitifully, pawing at the ground as if searching for shelter. Clara's heart softened instantly. She hadn't had a pet since her childhood dog, but something about this little creature tugged at her. "Come here, little wanderer," she cooed, opening the back door. The kitten hesitated, then darted inside, shaking off raindrops. Clara scooped it up gently, feeling its tiny heartbeat against her palm. "You look like you've been through a storm. Let's get you dry." She named it Ginger, after the spice Edward loved in his tea. Ginger purred softly as Clara wrapped her in a warm towel, and for the first time in years, the house felt a little less empty. Ginger quickly became Clara's shadow. The kitten followed her everywhere, batting at yarn balls during knitting sessions and curling up on her lap during quiet evenings. But Ginger had a peculiar habit. She was fascinated by the walls. She'd paw at baseboards, meow at corners, and stare intently at the old wooden panels in the hallway. Clara chuckled at first. "Silly kitty, what do you see that I don't?" But as days passed, Ginger's fixation grew. One evening, while Clara prepared dinner, Ginger scratched persistently at a spot near the staircase, a plain wall panel that blended seamlessly with the rest. Curious, Clara knelt down. "What's got you so worked up?" She ran her fingers over the wood and felt a faint groove, almost invisible. Her breath caught. Edward had been full of secrets. He loved building hidden features in their home. Could this be one? With a gentle push, the panel clicked and swung open like a door,